Wow, you are in for such a treat today. Let me tell you, you are going to be so blessed. You have the privilege to hear wisdom, to hear some absolutely fabulous things that are going to transform your life. Today, our guest not only has spent time with Nelson Mandela, been a best-selling author 2 times over, has numerous degrees, and this is the one that just is mind-boggling to me, and that is, on 3 separate occasions, she has spent a week facilitating meetings with the Dalai Lama himself. Yes, you heard that right. So it is my absolute distinct honor and pleasure as Deanna L. Robinson to introduce and to bring to you Mary Morrissey. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you, Deanna. I'm happy to be here.
Good, thank you. Well, we're excited to spend some time with you today. And one of the things that I know we share is the fact that to start a day with motivation and inspiration is really a foundation for your day. And I would love for you to share with us why that's so important.
Because imagine turning on your television, the station you're tuned to determines the picture you're going to see. So if you stay tuned to CNN, you're going to see problems one after another. And if you would prefer to be seeing something else on the broadcast, you have to tune to a different frequency. The way you begin your day is the tuning device for what you're going to see during the day. So I begin my day by reminding myself, first of all, I didn't wake myself up. Life woke me up. This day I will never get again in the entirety of my life. It's one day. It's a precious gift from life to me. And so as I am able to do that, I just practice saying it's a brand new baby day. I never got this day before. I'll never get this day again. And I mean it. I say it to myself until I generate a feeling of gratitude and appreciation and aliveness for the power of getting a blank canvas called a day, and I get to choose what I'm going to think and do this day.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. One of the things that really struck me when I've heard you speak a number of times, and we actually just wrapped up the Thrive event here in Los Angeles. But one of the things that just really struck me was when you said the 2 degrees that you are most proud of are your black belts, 1 in success and 1 in failure.
That's right.
Can you tell us about those?
Yes. I had built a very, very successful work in the Portland, Oregon area over many, many years, 23 years. And it was a multi-million-dollar nonprofit impacting the lives of lots and lots of people. And I loved that work, and I loved the people that were involved in that work. And I was very also involved in not only the work locally, but that's when I began to do the international work with His Holiness and Nelson Mandela and launching projects at the UN. And I was the president of an international organization doing this work. And when my father was dying, I came back to Oregon and I stayed home for 6 weeks in a row, which I had not done in a long time. And the kind of detail of it isn't so important, but what I began to discover was some impropriety with the money inside the business I was a part of and president of. And it started with one letter that I opened and then one thing after another until what I discovered meant that the entire thing, not only that business, but the person who was involved in that, a former husband of mine, 11 other businesses that were all commingled. And it turned out he had a bipolar disorder and different things that affected his thinking and decision making. But by the time I discovered what was going on, there was no saving the work I had built. And I was devastated at first. I just had to make reportings, and he would spend a year in a hospital and then spend some time in a facility, prison facility for about a year. And during that time, I lost my house, I lost my work, I lost my business, I lost my reputation. And all I knew to do was get myself to the Oregon coast for a while so I could walk the beach and cry, which I ended up spending 90 days at the beach. And about halfway through that 90 days, I remember hearing, "You're still breathing." And I was like, oh. And then I heard, "It's a dark chapter, but it's not your whole book." And it was the first time I'd really thought, oh, I could write a new chapter. There's everything I've learned up until now could perhaps serve something new emerging. And it had taken me years to build a first multi-million-dollar business. And I just began, and it was interesting because many of my friends, like Bob Proctor and others, Michael Beckwith and Marianne Williamson and others, were inviting me to their stages and opening doors for me. But what I had to do was get myself off the frequency of feeling like I was such a schmuck for letting this happen. How did I not see this coming? Because we're always with hindsight. You can see some things that are much clearer in the rearview mirror than they were in the headlights or the window pane coming in. The hedge. So windshield. So I had to work with my own self-image to be able to accept the opportunities that were coming my way and then begin to make use of them. But I would say that one of the things I'm so grateful for is the understanding that every single one of us learned to walk by falling down. That's how you learn to walk. The only difference between us when we were little kids and when we got into adult bodies is we think that if we fall down as an adult, it's shameful. We shouldn't get back up and try it again. That we actually learn to walk by falling down. We learn to ride a bike by doing it wobbly and crashing a few times. So I had a crash in business. My new business that got built in a couple of years and became a multi-million-dollar business rapidly. What happened before will never happen again. Do I know everything about never making a mistake again? Absolutely not. But I took what I learned, and what I know about success is that both success and failure are equally informative. That's how you learned to ride your bike by learning what happened when you didn't hold balance. You learned to get stable walking by not walking so well. You just didn't give up. So I got back up. I'm in the game, and life is great.
Yes. So both success and failure are informative.
Equally informative.
Equally informative.
When Thomas Edison was asked, how did you, Thomas Edison, just one of his inventions, he had a strategy of thinking that produced opportunity. It didn't produce the opportunity, it produced the awareness of opportunity. He wrote in his leather-bound journal, "I shall discover and deliver for the world a system of illumination that shall completely replace our current requirement on oil lamp illumination." He has no idea how to do it, but he has a belief that this world is ruled by invisible laws that govern the manifestation of all things, and that if he can think it up, the mind he thought it up in must know how to do it. And he had a practice of what he called learning to go to the land of the solution. He would sit in a rocking chair, go to the edge of what he knew to do, create a question in his mind about what could I do. He took everything he learned, ask a question, what could I do? And he would sit in a rocking chair and hold a rock in his hand over a tin bucket, so if he fell asleep, it would wake him up. And he would just, what we might call today, surfing the net. We surf the internet. That internet is vast and deep and wonderful, and everything it has for us, it's the veneer to the mind that you and I think with every day. And Edison knew this. So then he would work with ideas until he got what he called an electric idea. And he would know an electric idea because he could feel it. He was like, "Ooh, that's a good idea," and he would act on that. And he kept doing that over and over again. When he finally did what he had sought to do, which is develop a system of illumination that would completely eliminate our requirement on oil lamp illumination, someone asked him in an interview, "How did you ever handle 10,000 failures?" He said, "I never had a failure. It was all feedback." So why is success? That's feedback. Failure is feedback.
Yes.
And that's a learning strategy that we used when we were kids and we're meant to use when we're adults.
Wow. That's some serious wisdom. Wow. Okay, I would like to know, and I know others would like to know, where can they get more of this kind of wisdom on a regular basis?
Well, thank you for asking. You can go to marymorrissey.com, MORRISSEY, 2 R's, 2 S's. marymorrissey.com. There's some free gifts for you there. One is a Dream Builder kit, how you take a dream and move it right into the very experience of your life. And another is a daily message that I put out every day called the Daily Dream Builder. And it's very short, but it is one of the ways that you can put yourself in a high vibration for your day, is just to consider an idea that is expansive, insightful, and helpful for a way of living your life, where you get to live the life you love living instead of just thinking about the life you would love to live.
And we will provide that link right below this video.
And Deanna, and keep coming back for Deanna. Keep watching this program and pay attention to everything she's doing, because Deanna is a woman of She's an amazing woman, and I know what she's going to bring you in this series is going to make a huge difference in your life. So keep coming back and paying attention to what Deanna's doing.
Thank you, Mary. That's so kind of you. And so we will provide that link for Mary. And as Mary said, I look forward to some more interviews. And we are so grateful, so very, very grateful that we got to hear direct from you your wisdom and your transformational information. So until next time, this is Deanna L. Robinson. Thank you and be blessed.